There is a moment that is burned into my memory that I will never forget. We had sold our house, sold my acupuncture practice, and we had finally gotten our French visas approved. And it hit me all at once. We were doing this. We were going to go live in France. And it was excitement and grief and a whole lot of holy shit, what have we done, all mixed together. Have you ever felt that? That thrill and terror hitting all at the same time? For us, there was no going back at that point, and getting up to that point had already taken more difficult and challenging things than I really cared to think about. And from that point, looking ahead was another huge list of challenging and difficult things that were no smaller, just a different flavor. In this video, I'm going to show you what it looked like after we said yes to moving to France. Not the decision itself, that was in the last video, but what gets you through any big leap where deciding isn't enough on its own. Now that you've made the decision, you have to be willing to do it when it's hard, when it's scary, boring, uncomfortable, or the decision doesn't really matter. It's the action that makes it happen. Hello friends, I am Jenny Luther, a doctor and professor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine, and this is Practical Natural Wellness. I'm a doctor of Chinese medicine, but not your medical doctor. Everything here is always for education only. So, we decided to move to France. The decision itself was huge and hard and exciting, but once we said yes, the sheer scope of what we had just committed to was daunting, to say the least. It was everything I just said, and we were also starting to build an entirely new business from zero inside a foreign culture and bureaucracy, all while living off of savings at the exact moment that we had the least safety net we'd ever had. If we had let ourselves sit with the full weight of that decision every day, we would have buckled and it never would have happened. So first, we had to make a map, the big picture, the master list of everything that had to happen and roughly in what order in order to get it done. Then we had to stop looking at the map and just do the one next right thing on it. One form, one appointment, packing one box at a time, over and over again until it all got done. Then we landed in France, and everything that we thought we knew didn't work. You know that feeling, right? When even the easy stuff just takes everything you've got because you're just so exhausted and overwhelmed. Like, take the grocery store. I remember standing in the aisle holding these two packages of butter, and I can't quite read either one. And I'm thinking, how are there so many kinds of butter? Another time, I was standing in front of our washing machine at 10 o'clock at night, and I'm exhausted, trying to decode French laundry settings, which my decades old high school French class definitely never covered. And it was like my brain just stopped working. The RAM was full, and for a long time, we could only really do one thing a day. And that was it. It was that overwhelming. We went from fluent in our language, in our culture, in our careers, and in our lives to very, very unfluent in all of it, all at once. The map of things that we needed to do was different once we got to France, but we still desperately needed a map. And once again, we just needed to do the one next right thing over and over. Same method, different terrain. And honestly, we are still doing it. We are still in the overwhelm, but it's getting easier every month. One terrain challenge I didn't see coming was actually this channel. I still feel embarrassed, maybe a little ashamed of telling people that I have a YouTube channel. I feel very uncomfortable. Being seen is really uncomfortable for me on its own. And then my perfectionist tendencies keep me in absolute cringe mode constantly. Learning to make these videos is a huge work in progress, from scripting to editing to just thinking about people looking at me. So I'm learning as I go, and I still feel that. So I know how uncomfortable big change can be as we fumble our way towards our goal. What has gotten me through all of it? The leaving, the goodbyes, the arriving here, the rebuilding, even just the day to day, and definitely posting here on YouTube isn't one big brave moment. It's just doing the next one right thing over and over again. And little by little, you start to regain your fluency and you get your feet solidly underneath you again. And you reach your goals little by little. I mean, it's quite unsexy, but it's the truth. Yes, you need to have your big plan. That's your map. But the actual work happens in the terrain. It's one foot in front of the next over and over again. That's what gets us to our goals. That's what gets us through things that are hard. And there's a peace in that too. Staying grounded in just what's right in front of you, what needs doing today. And that actually moves you forward. It can become its own kind of practice. Some days, the overwhelm has meant that we could only do one thing, just one thing in the whole day. And we had to learn that that was okay. Capacity shrinks when you're doing something this hard and when you're holding such a huge thing and trying to get through it. And maybe it's not that it shrinks, it's just being occupied. The RAM is being used. But honoring that is part of the work. I would never tell a friend or one of my kids that one thing a day wasn't enough when they were in the middle of something hard. And so I had to learn that it was okay for me to say that to myself too. So now it's 16 months later. And all of it is real. We live in France. We are integrating nicely. The business exists and it's growing and we're learning. This channel exists. You're watching this because of 1,000 tiny, unglamorous next right things, not one dramatic leap. So name one thing that you've been avoiding because it feels too big or because you're scared of doing it badly. And then just do the smallest possible version of it today. Even if that smallest version is just getting curious about it. And then tomorrow, do the next one right thing. One next right action, over and over, day by day. If you are ready to build that muscle, doing the one next right thing over and over on your own timeline, my online course, The Pivot, opens in September, and that is exactly what it's built for. You can join the waitlist with the link in the description box below, or if you're watching this after it's live, that same link will take you straight to registration. And if what you are looking at feels like more than one framework or online course can hold, that's what one-on-one coaching is built for. You can find links for all of that below, and also you can join the newsletter in the description too. If this video is resonating for you, it is so helpful if you would hit like and subscribe. Before you go, tell me in the comments, what is the one thing that you've been putting off because you were scared to do it imperfectly, or just scared to start? All of this is part of my bigger story too. And last time I told you about the morning that we said yes to this move. And this part is what came after. The part where doing it scared is what mattered. Next time, I will show you the mechanism behind why doing it over and over works. Not just the moment you decide to be brave, but the messy, unglamorous middle where most people quit. It's about doing it imperfectly. I'll see you next time, my friends. Remember, life is for living. I'm Dr. Jenny. A bientôt.